call it dignity in her grammar. I don't actually know what bigotry means, so. If you are offended quite easily, or have a problem with learning anything, or are very disturbed with this country's history, then I really hope you will forgive me and leave this place quite quickly. No? Okay. I warned you. This is not an overdramatic, melodramatic poem. No melodramatic poem. But this is a story about a country with its ups and downs and in-betweens. Hidden History by Phoebe Omonira. Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. These words come straight from our national anthem. I would sing it, but then I would never hear the end of how terrible it was or how my voice cracked at the end. But when you hear that song, do you hear that song? Do you understand the words that drone on and on? Do you get the fact that some people think that because their great-great-grandfathers crossed the sea, that those words right there are meant for them? The land of the free. That's funny, you see. Are you just trying to irk me? Why? Well, let's go back in history. Fear can damage the tranquility that freedom brings. Fear is a very tricky thing. It's like a ticking time bomb, and at any moment it can go ding and ruin lives. While at the same time turning people into wide-eyed little hares, why did our loyal citizens have to deal with the icy stares when my favorite color started to scare? Red. And do you remember the word that would raise the hair on the back of your neck, that part of history that was just a wreck, with bloodshed and whippings and heartbreak galore? Do you know what's more? When all of that was done, there was still a group of people that were higher than the other one slaves. There was a lot of other words that could go with it. Some should be heard, others shouldn't be words, and the rest should just be burned. Slavery comes in many forms. We have come to accept it as a norm. Slavery to alcohol, smoking, drugs, and more. All around us we can see it's making the rich poor. And the poor man rich. As he sells drugs, he doesn't need to think of a pitch as he stands in the corner of the street. To everyone else, it's just a casual meet and greet. The war is still raging on. There are still children being bought, kidnapped, and beat. Bought and kidnapped, and repeat. So many people gave up their lives for one simple belief. They prayed wasn't a lie. Freedom. Freedom for the suspicious creeps. Freedom for those who didn't participate in everyone else's beliefs. Freedom for the people of Salem. Not Salem, Alabama. Women and men were accused of witchcraft. Their lives were switched back from great to something that just desecrates. All they had worked for and their lives started to dilapidate. They weren't idolized or marketed. Their glasses were not coveted. And the sticks they used to plant their seeds weren't collectible items that everyone needs. As they were harassed by those they thought were as clean as glass, they started to understand that life couldn't be like Peter Pan, dragging a little fairy along to be a part of your merry band, taking you by the hand, and giving you a second chance. For those people in Salem died without going to the last dance. Yeah, that's it. And newsflash, that happened in America. Did you know that? I sure didn't. Apparently my history book is missing a few pages. I wonder if the author knows he really should change it. And the home of the brave. The brave. The brave. No, I'm not stuttering. I just want you to hear the words in our nation's patriotic songs we hold so dear. Who are the brave? Yes, the people who fought in the American Revolution. Yes, the people who signed and wrote our Constitution. Yes, the people who went to Afghanistan or Iraq. Yes, the people who gave others a chance instead of kicking them out on their backs. And yes, oh yes, definitely the people who were locked up in camps, treated like tramps. And when they got out, their businesses weren't even on the maps. And yes, I'm speaking of the Japanese, that in World War II, they were brought to their knees. That in World War II, they were brought to their knees. Again, I am not stuttering. I just want you to hear that in history, the country that we hold dear made little children cower in fear. Made little children cower in fear. And no, I am not calling America inferior. No, I'm not saying that you yourselves are slaveholders. No, I'm not forcing you to tell me I'm sorry for all the degrading things that have been said to African American people in this country. I'm just asking you that the next time you call this land your home, remember the blood, remember the pain, remember the camps, and remember the names of all the people who died in our America. And the next time you hear someone say, I'm so happy for where we get to stay, remind them of what has happened to get them here today. America is a piece of every country poured into one, but please mind you, this pot isn't overrun, but there are holes I can see, and it's really paining me. So can we stop these colorful pieces from draining out of the pot, or all we'll have left won't be a lot, and the only color left won't be a color at all, and our melting pot would have melted into a small round ball.